Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. And while you're at it, go on over to thegrizzlygentleman.com and use the same promo code for 10% off at checkout. Both of these, fantastic deals, and they help support the show. Today's video is also brought to you by No More Hair 6. Look, it real hot in the south. Also, I messed up, and I didn't tell the barber the correct thing to do. So we're, we still got the beard. Still got the beard. And, of course, the great pepperminty product from the Grizzly Gentleman. But I had to get my hair cut. Luckily, it was they followed all the rules. I wore a face mask. The hair cutter that helped me out wore a face mask. And also, I was in there for like 5 seconds. One of the greatest things about being a guy, especially a guy with relatively simple hair, in terms of like what I want to get cut, you're in and out in like that. So it's fantastic. Today we're playing a Vigilance deck. Not everything has Vigilance here. Look, I was gonna not record another video for Magic today, other than the spoiler video, but I really should start calling them previews, other than the previews video. But look, I'm just here to chill. I'm doing this Magic this video for y'all. The thing is, whenever a new set is looming upon the horizon, it's really difficult to play like the old stuff, because there's like, I just want to play new cards. But yeah, so this is a Vigilance sort of pseudo-tribal deck thing. A lot of the things in here have Vigilance or give Vigilance. We got 4 Tithe Takers. This doesn't do either. But it's a decent 2-drop that I was like, I'm going to go ahead and include this. There's some other things I could have done, like Bounty Agent technically has Vigilance and I can use it to blow up a legendary thing, but I was like, meh. I'm actually not going to go over my sideboard in this video. This is just the cards that I considered, but didn't end up going with. We have 4 Paradise Druid so that I can skip over to 4, because I have Questing Beast at 4, and Questing Beast is stupid, so. We have Huatli's Raptor. Huatli's Raptor is, decent at 2-mana, 2/3, but I do get the proliferation, and in some cases that's actually pretty fine. Being able to proliferate one of your counters on Crystalline Giant, if it's the +1/+1 counter, is great. Obviously, proliferating either your Planeswalkers is great, and then of course you have like the random time where you just really want that that third part of the saga from Elspeth Conquers Death, so you can proliferate that as well. So it has some fringe benefit. Yo, know what I would want? I want the dual activated ability lands from Innistrad. So we have like Gavany Township, Isolated, no, it's not Isolated Chapel. Gosh, what is it? I use that card so much. It gives your creatures like lifelink and death touch. All right, shut up. There's Alchemist's Refuge, Nephalia Drownyard, the Ghost one. But having all of those, that would be fun. Wizards, throw that shit in Historic. That'd be super fun. I want those. Where the fuck was I? Right. Alert Heedbonder. It gains me life for my creatures with Vigilance. Cool. Crystalline Giant can get Vigilance and a number of other things. Banishing Light banishes things. Questing Beast has stats on it. Frondland Felidar is like the main reason I'm playing this deck. However, of course, I couldn't find a high-res image of the art, so we're using Vivien's art for the thumbnail, I guess. Whatever. What's really dope about this is we can attack with our creatures, right? Before blocks, we can tap down creatures. But once we get into a certain rhythm, we can, on our opponent's turn, tap their creatures down so they can't attack me. On my turn, their creature's still tapped. I attack them. However, because of the fact that all of my creatures, most of my creatures, are going to have Vigilance, back on their turn, before they attack me, I tap the shit down again. It's really cool. Hopefully I can do it. Ajani Greathearted gives all my creatures Vigilance, which is cool, and makes them bigger. Elspeth Conquers Death. It's important to have. And 3 Vivien. She makes beasts. We will sometimes give them Vigilance. It's nice that we can also go through our deck a little bit faster. We do have a decent number of creatures. We're rocking 24 lands with 61 cards. Shut up. I couldn't cut any of these cards. I didn't want to. We do have 2 Castle Ardenvales and 2 Temple of Plenties to kind of help with some potential issues with mana flooding. So yeah, so Tanfather Etheric 6 has gotten a good head shearing, and I feel much cooler. Not in the like a way, but in the way. Go with the Temple of Plenty. Look, it's not a 2-drop. And I want to make sure I can land my 4. And I'm gonna be honest to you. This is gonna be my turn 4. Oh, fudge. I mean, I didn't say fudge. Okay, Crystalline Giant on 3 should be okay, especially if I can get Hexproof or First Strike. Especially if I can get Hexproof or First Strike. Cavalcade Red. Reasons why you shouldn't play Standard. Reason number 1. Mono Red. Trample. Not what I was asking for, game. Literally, +1/+1. First Strike, Hexproof, Lifelink. Any of those would have been significantly better. I'm not going to block a First Strike one, because then my Giant could die to Shock before I get to take out any of their creatures. So, if I block Scorch Spitter, I at least can kill the thing. Oh, Embercleave. Oh, good. Good, you got to play a turn 3 Embercleave on curve going first. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm so fucking dead. This costs nothing to activate. I have the Questing Beast. Because, like, theoretically, I could Banishing Light the Embercleave. Then I would just take 4. Then I'd play my Questing Beast, and probably still die anyway. So, 6 of one, half 1,000 of the other. Yep. I'm still taking fucking 4 damage here. I'm still dead, aren't I? Yeah, I'm still dead. Because this is 6. 2 still gets over. Alright, now I'm absolutely dead. I died on turn 4. This is why I wasn't going to make a video. Alright, let's go and play another one. Alright, cool. I'm going to go over to Discord where I get to answer questions. Query asks, when you play MTG with friends, do you have any unique or interesting house rules? I don't think they're unique or interesting, but my group, my 2 best friends, essentially, when we play EDH together, we don't play with Soul Ring or its ilk, so Mana Vault, the other ones that I can't remember. This hand is... It's bad, I don't have green. I have green, and I can get to Paradise Druid on turn 2 to get to potentially Questing Beast. I'm gonna keep it and yeet Vivien away, but yikes. We also don't play with Cyclonic Rift. Mass Land Destruction is not used unless it's like absolutely warranted, essentially. And you might be like, what the hell does that mean? When is that ever warranted? Sometimes it's warranted. We tend to go against taking many turns at once. None of the extra turn cards are like pseudo banned or anything like that. It's just we tend to not play them very often. Frondland Felidar, sure, that's kind of the point of the deck. I'll Herdbinder. If nothing else, I can block this. For what it's worth, we're going against Simic Mutate. So even if this is a good deck, which, frankly, you know, I'm not going to say it isn't, we have slightly more play than otherwise. They're going to bounce my Paradise Druid, I assume. Yeah. Well, now I regret keeping this on top. I also regret casting this. Ow. Hopefully I top deck a land, and then I can Elspeth Conquer's Death, this Shore Shark, cutting off all of their good value things. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Fuck. What? Let's see. Are there any other... No. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I don't think there are any other interesting house rules or anything like that. Not particularly, no. I just realized I look slightly more like Matumbo. By the way, this is a person who plays Magic on YouTube. I've seen a few of their vids. They seem like a pretty cool dude. Check them out. I don't think there's anything else that I can really think of consistently. I guess usually, since it's just the three of us, we do like a mulligan where it's obviously the free 7, then 6, and then just like constant 6s. But there's like a gentleman's limitation, like don't just keep 6ing. This is my fault for running 61 cards. Let's see. Lollybubble asks, what is my opinion on how Standard is going to turn out after M21? I don't like Standard. I'm playing it right now because I don't like Standard. I don't believe it will be better. I don't believe Standard will be better until rotation occurs, and even then, I don't know if it will be good enough. I do believe, especially now, Wizards needs to reassess using the using the consistent, like, continual rotation. It technically makes the thing is, right, it's perceived. I'm gonna say perceived, because frankly it's perceived. It's perceived to make Standard more expensive, and it does. But the issue is Standard is the most expensive format, and the reason for me saying this, I'm gonna go and exile that shit. What the hell? Interesting. But the reason for me saying that is that even with the normal rotation as is, right? Every time a rotation occurs, I mean, hell, even every time a new set comes out, you may very likely have to change your deck completely. And if you don't have to the first time, you're definitely going to need to by the second time around. What do you get? Death Touch? Sure. This means that over time, you know, if you have an investment of... And I'm going to use Pioneer for right now, but this technically works with all of the formats. It just depends on how long you plan on playing the game. But let's say you buy a... I should make sure there are $500 Pioneer decks. Let's see. Go to MTG Goldfish. Go to Decks, Metagame. Pioneer. Dimir Inverter is 5. Mono White Devotions, 450. Mono Black, Lotus Bruce. So I mean, I'm looking at a range of like 175 to about to around. I mean that's just normal like competitive decks. That's not even including budget decks. I mean, you include budget decks, you're all the way down to like 75, around there by themselves. Yo, it's Titan's Nest. This is Alias V's. Alias V and I both put out the same shit at the same damn time. Her deck was this with like Uro and shit, and mine was a real dredge deck. Damn it. So I can Questing Beast and guarantee some damage through, and I think that's what I'm gonna do here. See my Crystalline Giant. I would love First Strike or Flying. Fucking hell yeah, dude. I have First Strike. Cool. Anyway, so you buy a $500. Let's say $500. It seems like middle range. You buy a $500 Pioneer deck, or you could buy. I'm looking at Standard. The average seems to be around $300. You could buy $300 Standard deck. Rotation happens. You buy $300 Standard deck. That is a single rotation that has cost you more money than buying into Pioneer. Now let's look at Modern. Right, Modern. It's most likely a little bit more expensive. Yeah, here it's about, let's say 900. Right, I'm trying to. This is like an eyeball estimate, and that of course is including the nonsense that includes the fetch lands. Like if fetch lands weren't a factor, this would be a lot lower. What are you going to grab? I don't care. I don't care what they're doing. The game doesn't matter. Let's say you spend $900, right? Once again, that $300 standard deck, instead of it being 1 rotation, in order to make even with Pioneer, it's 2. So, after 2 years, you've spent as much on Standard as you have on Pioneer, or as you have on Modern. I understand, bans and things, they shake things up. You might prefer that formats. Casualties of War. I'm just gonna concede. I don't care. The game happening in the background doesn't matter. Essentially what I'm trying to illustrate, though, is if you plan on playing the game for a long period of time anyway, and I'm talking about paper right now, you're going to end up spending more if you focus on Standard and you focus on competitive than you would if you focused on a different format. And I'm saying focus here on purpose. Like, theoretically, you can still like play Standard and like slowly upgrade pieces, but if you like, you can focus on Modern and just have, a Standard deck every rotation that you slowly upgrade and whatnot. I'll keep this. I got 3 drops that I can play. So theoretically, like, already Standard is not the best fiscally. Then, of course, you introduce constant rotation. So with each new set that enters, 1 set leaves. So if we were doing that, I can go to what's in Standard real quick. Yeah. No. I'm going to Crystalline Giant first. Having a lot of fun right now. You would have to essentially decide on how many sets are going to be in at a time. The Cast Questing Beast. So theoretically, let's say we decide that it's always going to be exactly 7 sets in at a time. This fucking Standard is garbage. I just want everyone to know that I feel this way. So you're always going to have exactly 7 sets in Standard. Cast this again. Oh my gosh. It stuck around. I'm flooding now. I mean, I kept the 4-lander, but... Oh man, this is great. They're going to flash in the Brazen Barber, I assume. Wow. So let's say we decide 7 sets. Essentially, that means we should always have exactly... Yeah, we'll always have exactly 1 core set. Core set in Standard. So if we were doing that, M21 comes in, we lose core set 2020. Which means we don't have to, like, care about things like Field of the Dead, Veil of Summer, Agent Treachery. We wouldn't necessarily need to ban those as much because of the fact that we're going to see them leave faster, right? So one other thing that I'm like going on a huge tangent from this question, but one other thing that it does, right, is that it makes it so that all of the sets get the same amount of time in the light. So what do I mean by that? Guilds of Ravnica has been in Standard for a while. Although War of the Spark has a lot of issues, War of the Spark has not been in Standard nearly as long. Neither has Core Set 2020. Or, of course, I don't know when things come out, okay? Regardless. War of the Spark hasn't been in for a while. When we rotate, we're losing War of the Spark and Guilds of Ravnica. We're losing other things as well. Could you, like, fuck off, please? I think I might just concede again. Attack! I'm gonna gain 2 life back, yay! Or I'm gonna gain 4 life, yay! So essentially it's like not fair to the later sets for the newer sets. But if we're doing this, each set has the exact same amount of time to see in Standard. This means that when Wizards pushes mechanics, you don't have to worry as much about the Standard environment because the card's going to be gone sooner than it otherwise would. So let's see. I think technically I'm wrong. I think technically I'm wrong with regards to the early sets. So the first like 2 sets. So Guilds of Ravnica Legions. But I am correct on World of Spark core set. I believe that's the case. But still, right. With Zendikar, when Zendikar comes out, we lose guilds, war, blah blah blah. So we'll have 5 sets. So we have, in Standard, between 5 and 8 sets. Or I guess I should have said what? 5 or 8 sets. Instead, we can always have the exact same card pool size, where things are a little bit more consistent throughout. Right? Zendikar comes out. So core set comes out, we lose... What's in Standard is not in order, I'm realizing. Magic sets. I need to know when they released. Listen, Magic the Gathering sets. I am a very smart person. Let's see. Guilds. October 5th, January 25th, May 3rd. And then when was core set 2020? That was July 12th. July. Rude. Yeah, so no, I was correct. July set comes in. Yeah, sorry, I'm confusing myself. But yeah, core set comes in. Core set 2021. We lose core set 2020. Zendikar comes in. We lose guilds. The next set comes in. I don't fucking know what it is. We lose Ravnica Legions. Next set comes in. We lose War of the Spark. But the thing is, you don't have to choose 7 sets. You could say 6 sets. 6 sets. Sure. You could choose 6 sets. You can say, instead of between 5 and 8, we're always going to have exactly 6. Those are both even, aren't they? Awkward. I'm not even going to put the games in the description because it really doesn't matter. This is all just me being on a tirade about Standard. So okay, regardless of the rotation shit, because I feel like I've talked about it for too damn long. I talked a little bit about the implications of what it means for Standard, but why am I saying that they should reassess doing this? Because right now there's a focus on Magic in the digital sense, right? So it's less of an issue. Obviously, for people who want to play Standard, when rotation happens and they don't want to play Historic or Brawl, on Arena they're you know kind of SOL, right? Like they're not going to get what they're wanting to have. That's unfortunate. I completely understand that. But otherwise, right? Or on the other hand, we have a Standard that is going to be less frequently annoying as hell. And when shakeups occur, they're going to be pretty decent shakeups, right? Because not only is a new set coming in, an old set is leaving, right? So, you know, when a new set comes in, some decks might be updated. Sometimes nothing changes, essentially. But if we switch to this... I'm fine blocking there. What the fuck? I'm very confused. A part of me wants to just Banishing Light that priest. It's a weird attack. Anyway. Yeah, it just... It seems like it would make a lot more sense at this time period. I could be super wrong. But the thing is, this is like the perfect time to kind of test it out, because we're in such a strange situation. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let me just get banished. Oh wow, I won one. So I'm not gonna put the timestamps in. So that was my tirade on what I think standard is going to look like at M21. Not good enough, essentially. I think that if we just constantly had exactly 7 sets in standard at a time, I think it has to be 7 in order to have a core set every time, right? I'm not entirely sure. Whatever makes it so we have 1 core set in every standard format. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's how it should be done, frankly. If you super disagree with me, let me know like why. Because there could be a glaring reason I'm missing. Yo! It's sea cream. Bruh. It's fucking sea cream. Say hi to YouTube. Yo, this is fucking hilarious. Oh, he's playing Vamps. He's playing Vamps. Oh, that's fun. That's a nice turn of events. No! Wait, what the fuck? It's not humans. I thought it was human for a second, but does not appear to be humans. I'd like to keep that for my questing beast. I'm going to not attack. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was my rant. I mean, I'm just gonna play the questing beast, okay? We just smork with it. Interesting. None of those can block my beast. Oh! It's Winota. Awkward. Awkward. Right, they're indestructible on that first turn. Very awkward. Still get a free block there. Block kill there. I might as well block this. I can Banishing Light this, and it should be a win potentially. No, I forgot about Gemini's Enforcer. Why are they still indestructible? Oh, right, General's Enforcer. Duh. Oh, what am I talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4, 8, 10. So unfortunately, because I can attack, I think I have to do this. Then these have Vigilance. No, 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 stop it. These have Vigilance anyway. I need to keep this to chump, potentially. And then during their turn, I can tap something down. I think it's probably going to be Tajik. Sorry. Wow, who would have thought that the interesting game that I have is against one of my own viewers? Huh? What? Oh. Rundy Sapien asks, if you could see two different planes go to war, which ones would they be? Why? Which one wins in your opinion? I would like to see... I mean, I don't think this can happen anymore. I'm pretty sure OG Phyrexia is gone. I would like to see new Phyrexia versus old Phyrexia. And hot take, new Phyrexia would win, purely because they have more access to other magic. Well, that's unfortunate. I think Sea Cream is going to beat me.
Honor and courage. Now do you see the benefits of peace?
I believe I am dead. If I had minused, they would have just chump blocked my Frondland Felidar with the 2-1, and I still would have been dead. He's doing some quick maths. Doesn't have to block here at all. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, I mean... Yeah, no, I'm super dead. Druid command! I'm right here! Ah! I died. Yeah, I would like to see new Phyrexia fight at another Phyrexian plane, especially one that is monocolored. And the reason is because I think it's super interesting to see the strengths. Like, obviously, having multiple colors of magic can give weakness to Phyrexian. And we already seen that in the infighting. But at this point, essentially, New Phyrexia is unified. At least it essentially was last time we were there, or last time I heard about it. But I very much would be interested in seeing New Phyrexia triumph against some other Phyrexian faction. My issue is that I feel like Wizards is going to go to New Phyrexia. My fear is that they're going to go to New Phyrexia. They're not going to flesh out more of the conflict between the Praetors. We're not going to see enough of like the different mechanics of each of the colors of Phyrexia, and I worry that there's going to be too much resistance. I like at this point, the Mirrans should all be wiped out. If not, there should be a single encampment left. But I want the Phyrexians to win when we go to Mirrodin, right? We've had a bunch of, I mean, it's true, right? Like we've had a bunch of recent-ish victories. Theros Beyond Death turned out great. Throne of Eldraine turned out great. War of the Spark turned out great. Dominaria win everyone's way. I mean, War of the Spark, yeah, we had casualties, but still. Ixalan turned out the hero's way. I mean, Amonkhet was a bit of a disaster. But before that, right, we had Gatewatch roast the Eldrazi, and they had a stalemate in chess against the other one. So I want to see another loss, and I want to see it at the hands of the Phyrexians. But I'm not sure of phrasing, but I would. I don't know. I feel like New Phyrexia, there's so much potential there because it is Phyrexia with all of the colors of Magic. And I think a story in which the Praetors have access. I mean, Tezzeret has the fucking bridge still. The Phyrexians with that power, it would be interesting to see how each of them invades differently, even. It'd be interesting to see how New Phyrexia becomes literally the New Phyrexia, where all other seats of Phyrexia are invaded first, right? The Phyrexians are like, we'll invade the rest of the multiverse, but right now, we have to unify what we are, right? And then we have a unification. They go to all of the other planes that are Phyrexian, and this is done via Tezzeret, who essentially becomes the Phyrexian Silver Surfer, right? So he would, let's say we go to Elspeth's home plane, right? Elspeth's home plane, we know, has a Phyrexian presence. Tezzeret scouts it out for the Phyrexians. I don't know what he gains here. Maybe he becomes the new father of machines or whatever, and this is his bid to get more power because as a planeswalker, he has protection from the oil. But he goes to Elspeth's home plane. Elspeth's going to be there as well. The Phyrexians invade, and although they don't like join the native inhabitants of Elspeth's homeworld, which frankly by this point they should all just be destroyed, they go in and try to overthrow the current potentially mono black Phyrexians. I think that would be a super interesting story, especially because then, right, we can have a situation where there are still that normal inhabitant faction who are fighting off the Phyrexians who were there first, and then the new Phyrexians come in, and it's not like 2-on-1, but it's like 1v1v1, right? And I think it would be super interesting to see a dynamic like that. My fear, of course, as I said a little bit, is Karn goes in with his damn Sylex, which is spelled differently than the original Sylex. I have no idea why they've done that. I don't know if it's meant to be different, and they spelled it differently as like a hint that it's going to happen, thinking that like most people wouldn't see that it's spelled differently. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'm worried he'll go there. There's going to be Koth and like a huge swath of resistance still there, with like representatives from all of the factions. We got the damn elves. We've got fucking the humans of all of the 5 colors, and we have the goblins and all this shit. And they're going to have some sort of uprising, and they're going to win. And Karn is like seconds from activating the Sylex, but they don't have to. They win. I don't want that to happen. My boy Bolas, still alive, but in prison. I don't like it. Sure. My Eldrazi, 2 of them, liquefied from stupid fire. I don't care if Nissa was tapping into the entire plane's worth of magic. They eat planes. It bothers me still, to this day, that it was so easy for a new team of new walkers to destroy Lovecraftian entities. Of course, the last one decided to seal herself in a moon. Whatever. We got sealed away. I want a real victory for the bad guys. In this case, the Phyrexians. I'd love to see a new card for all the Praetors. I would love to see Tezzeret bring the planar bridge. Like, it would be cliche. I'm talking about, like, nonsense right now. So sorry for everyone who doesn't give a shit. Although, you've clicked off already. So whatever, I don't care. I'm going to stay on this page, because apparently music doesn't play on any other page. It would be cliche, but I would prefer if this were to happen. We go to New Phyrexia. Right? It's... Oh, right, I'm just turning this off. It's, you know, we got Karn, Elspeth, Teferi probably. We go there, we meet back up with Koth, right? Conflict ensues. I prefer if there were essentially no Mirrans left, whatever. Or by no, I mean like a scant few. As much as the Eldrazi on Zendikar, there should be. That was a Yoda sentence. They go there, they're doing okay. It's like a back and forth, a power struggle, like... The Mirrans or the Resistance or whatever the fuck you want to call them, they get a heading, and then, you know, it comes back, and then the fourth, and back and forth, and then, like, they're about to win. Karn's, like, seconds from activating the Silex. He's like contemplating doing it, like, it looks like we're about to win, but we're on the edge of our seat, we're not entirely sure. Karn decides, nah, I'm not going to use this shit. Destroys it. I don't know why he would do this. Karn should be smarter than that. Whatever. Who cares? Tezzeret pops up. He's like, what's up, bitches? Planar Portal. The Praetors get away. Even if it's just the Praetors, I'd prefer it if, like, Tezzeret brings the rest of the Eternal Army there, blows them up. The issue, of course, is that, like, we're doing single-step blocks now. We're not actually, right? We had Ravnica. If we go back to Innistrad, one set should be fine. We go back to Zendikar, one set should be fine. If we go back to New Phyrexia, they should do two sets. I can't fathom, even if they have the cliched story of the Resistance winning, I can't fathom being able to explore the amount of mechanical space and flavor space in a single set. And for what it's worth, just because I can't fathom it doesn't mean it's not possible, but still, I don't know. They've done... I've three loves in Magic. The Eldrazi, Phyrexians, and Bolas. Two of those, in my opinion, they've done dirty. The last one I'm holding out hope for. And some might say, reasonably speaking, this video, not at all about gameplay. Not at fucking all. People could reasonably say, following around the New Phyrexians would be more boring than seeing how the Phyrexians as a concept manifest on different planes. I would agree with you, except my idea is to have our New Phyrexians that we know go to other planes, infest with Phyrexians, and then we can have a unifying theme of the New Phyrexians fight some other unified theme of the on-world Phyrexians that are molded by whatever the main mechanic is. So, like, we go to some sort of new plane, they have some sort of... Literally, I'm trying to think off the cuff here. Let's say we go to a snow plane that's been relatively recently inhabited by the Phyrexians. So we go to a snow plane. It's snow. That's the general set mechanic. Then we have like a corrupted snow mechanic that I'm thinking of, kind of like the Ice Age Phyrexians, or not Ice Age, Cold Snap. They're like Phyrexian Obliterator, Dreadnought, and stuff like that. So that kind of aesthetic. But with it's essentially some sort of snow mechanic, but flavored with Phyrexians. I don't know how to do it, shut up. So then we have, like, the main theme of what the natives are. The native Phyrexians, I'm calling them native Phyrexians because it's easier to say. The native Phyrexians of that plane, contrasted with whatever unifying theme we have for New Phyrexia on that plane. And the unifying theme can change, maybe based on some sort of, like, nonsense. Like, the Praetors become some sort of Council of 5, or... technically 4 if you want to have Urbrask, like, just stay on Mirrodin and be like, nah, fuck y'all. Then you could even have the red anti native Phyrexian faction be the resistance, although that might get boring from time to time. But still, you could have something where whoever does the most damage or wins the most area or something amongst the Praetors gets to choose how next to launch the primary assault, and you just like have that so that each set can feel slightly different of a unifying theme. But you still get to see new types of Phyrexians based on different planes while maintaining what, in my opinion, makes new Phyrexia the best Phyrexia. And some old school people are like, Yawgmoth was the best. Old Phyrexia was the best Phyrexia. Man, fuck that. Old Phyrexia does not have Elish Norn. And Elish Norn is back. So I think I fucking rambled on enough about not only standard sets, but also the theme. Where's the music? It's gone again. This game fucking sucks. I'd like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Minotaur, the new patron. He still technically hasn't gotten back to me, but at this point I just put his name in as Minotaur with red because, I don't know. They didn't respond. If you want to join them and support the show, you'll find links to that in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, go and tap that like button, add subscription to Manipool, has a comment in the comment section down below. Pass the turn in the video to some of your friends, of course. Until next time, all be one.